Yeah, I mean, I think look, the two guys in camp that have turned the most heads have been Curtis Mead and Chandler Simpson. Those have been the two guys that have consistently had the most conversations around them for the success that we've seen. And I had a chance to interview Curtis for our last game on Monday in Port Charlotte, and just ask him about his mentality, his approach, and he's done this now two off seasons in a row where he set up a personal meeting one on one with Kevin Cash just to set some expectations and goals heading into the off season. And I think the one thing they wanted him to do is just lean back into the guy that they had hoped would be a top prospect and breakthrough, and that means leaning more into his swing, focusing more on his flight path to the baseball. With that swing, bulking up and focusing more on being able to add muscle to his body. And I think you've seen the fruits of that labor, right? Coming into the game that I did on Sunday, his 10 hits were tied with the most of any player in spring training through the first couple of games that we've had. So 833 batting average is what he had going into that game. So it's been awesome to see it. And he really just, with some guys, maybe it takes time to click. And I asked him, the trials and tribulations of the last few seasons and how it hasn't translated to the majors, and did that frustrate him. And he said, I felt like I was close, right? He felt like he was really close to it clicking the last couple of times he got an opportunity to come up with a big league club. And I think now his focus really is, let me be more process oriented. Let me focus on what got me to the point, what got me to being named, one of the top prospects in the organization. So I'm excited. Again, it's spring. I don't want to say that, Curtis is going to be a 500 hitter, this season for the team, but he keeps hitting the baseball like this, and he keeps, putting together quality at bats and earning walks like we saw the other day, and really putting good swings on the baseball. I mean, he's going to be a guy that they're going to have to, have featured in there as a guy who could play multiple positions in the infield as well, which I know the Rays value. And then Jansen has been somebody I haven't had a chance to really chat with him much. I spoke with him the first day of pitchers and catchers reporting, but just watching him and watching the way he's interacted, he's really taken it ownership on learning each pitcher. The day that Zach Littell went out there in the canceled game where Jansen hit that home run, that was the first time they ever, caught each other. I mean, it's the first time he ever caught, pitches from Zach Littell. And Littell even said, for that experience, I mean, he was great. You could see the demeanor behind the plate. So he's going to get, the workload. He stays healthy. I mean, Jansen's going to be in there, 80% of the time for Tampa Bay, which I think is great, right? They need somebody who could be productive offensively behind the plate, but somebody these pitchers can rely on. And I'll give credit to, the Ben Rortfits of the world who came in last year on the eve of opening day, and Rene Pinto, who started, it was kind of projected as being the starting guy. And then Alex Jackson, what he did, yeah, he struggled at the plate, but he really tried to take ownership of the work with the pitchers. I think Jansen has come in right away. He came in early to camp, weeks before reporting, to try and do some extra homework to learn these guys. He's really dove all in to try to be, that premier, backstop, not just defensively behind the plate, but really knowing what the pitchers want to throw, and really trying to provide some offensive spark. And I'm excited, right? I mean, catcher has been the one position that has eluded this franchise dating back to when they took Tim Beckham over Buster Posey. We all know that, right? So I think this is the opportunity now where I think they get a guy that they really coveted, really wanted in the offseason. He felt that Danny Jensen did. It's why he wanted to sign here. And, I'm excited to see what he can do, getting every day at bats and really working with, this incredibly talented pitching staff.